All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I want to give our honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakorash. We say Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakorash. And we give double honors to our apostles and our elders, which are the apostle elders, a great millstone, which feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushai. 2026, heavy year of apostates, fallouts, and spies. Let's jump right into this lesson. This is a update to the article we brought out during class, and I wanted to go into it just a little bit more and to show because it's getting ready to happen tomorrow. So April 4th through the 5th at evening at peak, okay, sun gazers speaking should be watching the skies. I mean, if you see it, you see it. But we know that what's happening now on the earth and in the heavens is signs of the prophecies coming to pass. The end is nigh. Deliverance is coming. The kingdom of heaven is being established, which belongs to Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans out there. The elect first, all right, the 144,000 and 1/3. And the Lord is getting ready to establish righteousness on the planet Earth. But just like in the time of Noah, it's going to come through great destruction on the planet Earth. There's going to be turmoil. There's going to be chaos. There is already. You got all types of, we're about a month and a few days in to this conflict in the Middle East. And some forecasters and those that are privy to economics, they're saying that it's going to take years to recover from what's happening if it stops today. And so, but if it keeps going, it's going to intensify for a long period of time. That's why it says that there's going to be a time that has never been seen under heaven, because we live in a geopolitical world where everything is sewn together by trade, by roots, by different things that we're all tied together. That's why even if you go to the internet, it's a worldwide thing. All right. Each place has their version of the internet. But the main point is that the economics of everybody is tied together through trade and through different things that are used. Now the war has exposed that through the use of helium, which uses for chips. All right, I never knew that until this war. So helium is an important thing, which is a byproduct of the petrol oil. All right. So what we're seeing now is a culmination on many fronts that's going to be affected. And these elites, they know that because they want to bring chaos in, because they got the order already ready. They got the order on deck. Okay. So don't think for 1 minute that these elites aren't trying to move the goalposts for their own means. But Yabashim Al-Shah is really moving this for his own means, which is prophecy. Okay. So let me see here. Let's see if we can play some of this one. Fair use. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for any kind of monetary gain. This is just for educational to show what's getting ready to happen. I don't know what this video is going to entail, but there's a few ones that I've seen pop up. So let's go ahead and play this.
How often do two bright comets appear in the sky at the same time? Almost never. But in April 2026, we might get exactly that. One comet will plunge dangerously close to the sun, while another swings past Earth just weeks later. If both survive and brighten as predicted, the sky could host a double comet spectacle.
You hear that?
Weeks later. If both survive and brighten as predicted, the sky could host a double comet spectacle. April 2026 may offer amateur astronomers a particularly unusual observing opportunity. The potential appearance of two relatively bright comets in the sky during the same month. While bright comets themselves are unpredictable and appear irregularly, the overlap of two promising objects in a short time window is even more uncommon. This year, the candidates are Comet C/2026 A1 and Comet C/2025 R3. Each follows a very different orbit through the solar system. One is a dangerous sun grazer approaching the sun to extreme distances. The other is a long-period comet from the Oort cloud that will pass relatively close to Earth. For observers, that means two very different types of comet displays, potentially within the same few weeks. However, as every comet observer knows, forecasts must always be treated cautiously. The first comet attracting attention this year is Comet C/2026A1 MAPS. It was discovered on January 17, 2026 by the MAPS survey program operating in Chile's Atacama Desert.
We're living in very prophetic times, okay? These aren't coincidences. That's why Yahweh said, if you can discern the coming of the storms and weathers, you'll be able to discern the coming of the Son of Man. Esau can't control celestial bodies, okay? That's why I said in the lesson, the tribe of Issachar, okay, what you call the so-called Mexicans today, they were known for their ability to look into the heavens, okay? That was their talent and gift that the Lord gave that particular tribe, and they exuded that in the way of the Mayans and the Aztecs. Okay, they were astronomers themselves. That's why you have the Aztec calendar. Okay, but I say that to say that these are monumentous things. It says rare. They don't know if they've ever captured something like this, or in the time that they've been recording and watching the heavens with telescopes and different things like that. It might have happened prior, but we don't know what that time frame. And, back in the days in the history, this might have took place, but now we're witnessing it in our lifetime during a conflict, the start, if not the midway to World War III. We've seen a financial crisis, digital dollar, uproars of the people, Matthew's the 24th chapter, Luke, all these things are happening now. What's the chances of this comet happening? And it's during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. During the Feast of Unleavened Bread, okay? So that right there is even, you can't time that out. One is that who else knows that we are in the Feast of Unleavened Bread besides the Heavenly Father, Yahbashim Yahushai? I think the small hats might be conducting. But the Lord is, we are giving a right offering, okay? Romans 12:1, it says, make that body a living sacrifice. So we as a nation, as you Israelites, the ones that are coming in the right spirit, we're giving up that right offering and that right sacrifice. And then you have Esau, okay, going back to Cain, is giving up the wrong sacrifice during this time, all right? That's why he's in that turmoil now. He's getting smacked with all types of hypersonics, and the world is waking up to his wickedness, the banking industry, all these things. So what's there is no chance of this. This is prophecy. We're in prophecy, and these comments are the creme, and the Heavenly Father is showing us signs that, look, the Lord knows what we're doing, and he's sending these signs and these comments for us to witness, and to look at, and not to marvel at it and, be bugged out at it, but it's to show that the Heavenly Father is bringing some things down the pipe. And I said during the, I was talking, me and the brother was talking, I believe that after the Pesach, everything was going to turn up, and it has been. Troops have been captured, more Babylonian soldiers have been killed. You have this different skirmishes in the Middle East. NATO is pretty much falling apart because Article 5 has not been invoked after the turmoil with Iran and America, because they are an ally or a partner in NATO, and they have not been assisted and helped. So that's a paper tiger. That's not a good look, because now the adversaries and those that are once was afraid of that, they know that it's temporal, okay, and they see that it's circumstantial. So if it's circumstantial and the goal line can be moved, then they're gonna move it. All right, I just wanted to bring that quick point out.
One of the best locations in the world for astronomical observations, thanks to its extremely dry atmosphere and dark skies. Almost immediately after its discovery, orbital calculations revealed something striking. This comet belongs to the Kreutz family of sun grazers. COMETS comets are fragments of a much larger progenitor comet that likely broke apart many centuries ago. The fragments follow nearly identical trajectories that carry them extremely close to the Sun. In the case of MAPS, its orbit is hyperbolic, meaning this particular fragment may be making its first and only visit to the inner solar system. On April 4th, 2026, the comet will pass only about 748,000 kilometers from the center of the Sun, which corresponds to roughly 465,000 miles from the Sun's visible surface. From a physical standpoint, this places the comet in one of the most extreme environments encountered by any small solar system body. At these distances, solar radiation increases dramatically. Surface temperatures may exceed 2,000 Kelvin. Volatile materials sublimate violently. Solar tidal forces begin to stress the nucleus. Many sun-grazing comets do not survive such encounters. Yet occasionally, a larger nucleus can endure the passage and produce spectacular displays.
See, I believe, just like me and the brother were saying, that it's going to make it. And we're going to be able to see it tomorrow, okay? Because we're not watching it as it's a normal feat. The Lord is sending it as in a sign in heaven, okay? Because we know that judgment is coming down. Jacob's trouble is happening. The deliverance is coming to the elect, 144,000 and the 1/3. So there's not a coincidence for this thing to be happening right now. Okay, let's keep playing.
As of mid-March 2026, observations show that MAPS is behaving encouragingly. The comet has been steadily brightening without showing clear signs of premature fragmentation, something astronomers watch for very carefully in sun grazers. Photometric measurements from amateur and professional observers currently place the comet around magnitude 10.7 to 10.8. Just a week earlier, on March 11th, some observers reported brightness as high as magnitude 10.3, suggesting the comet has roughly doubled its brightness within a short period. Telescopic images show a greenish coma produced by emission from diatomic carbon molecules, a common feature in active comets. The coma diameter is currently estimated at around 9 arc minutes, and images reveal a developing tail extending more than 20 arc minutes. In terms of sky position, the comet is currently located right ascension, about 2 hours 27 minutes. Declination, approximately -10 to -11 degrees. At present, it is located low in the western evening sky, making observations somewhat challenging. Observers with small telescopes should look shortly after sunset when the comet is still above the horizon.
So that's pretty much the point on that. We ain't got to go too deep. But let's read it. It says, in April 2026, skywatchers have a rare opportunity to view two comets, C 2026A1 MAPS and C 2025-3 Pan-STARRUS, which are visiting the inner solar system simultaneously. C 2026A1 MAPS is potentially sun gazer peaking around April 4th, 5th through the 5th in the evening sky, while C 2025 R3 is more stable, potentially brighter comet best viewed in the morning later in the month. See, it says comets makes a close intense pass to the sun around April the 4th through the 5th. It may be visible shortly after sunset in the west and highly volatile. It may break apart due to the heat or become quite brighter than normal. So, hey, so this is, man, these are the signs that we're looking for. All right. Let's see here. Once. Just to show you the rarity of it. The 2026, a rare celestial event is expected. Two comets may be visible in the night sky. Hold on. There we go. Yep, it says April 2026 will bring something extraordinary. Two comets in the sky at the same time will be visible. A rare cosmic moment many people never ever expected. Okay, let's see here. That's the main point. It's a very rare, an event, because what's taking place right now is showing that our faith has appreciated, man. I was going to bring this out in another lesson, Lord willing. I will dedicate a whole lesson to this, but I wanted to bring this out. It says, what does appreciating as assets mean? An appreciating asset is an item, investment, or resource that increases in market value over time. And why am I saying this? Because everything you see happening with us believing, as you know, starting with the apostles and elders, their elders, going back to the man by the name of the great man by the name of Abba Bivens, which we believe is Elijah in the reincarnation, if you can accept that. That kicked this thing off. This truth has gained traction. It's grown exponentially. You know, now who doesn't know about Israelites? Who doesn't know about Esau's history that he tried to hide? That's why it says you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. So all the lies that were covered up and used or put, put up falsehoods and all these things, now it's being found out. The dominoes are falling because you find one chink in the armor, you can hit that spot and start cracking the whole support system of it. So now you got people that are going backtracking information and history and linking things up, and it's not matching the current history and the current dogma and doctrine that's been pushed out. So now people are waking up, and it started with the truth. It started with the men on the highways and the byways that pushed this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And that's what is coming down. That's why the Lord said that he's gonna make Esau bare. And you seeing it now. So it says an appreciating asset. And what's the asset? It's faith. Faith has been our asset. It's been our investment. That's why it says store up your treasures in heaven, where men can't steal, moth can't eat. I'm paraphrasing, but our faith has been invested in the heavens. Now we're seeing a return on that faith by way of these events, by way of the prophecies coming to pass, by way of our redemption drawing near than we've ever believed. Okay, that's why it says look up. So look up is you're going to have the chariots, what you call so-called UFOs, UAPs. You know, you got Esau's technology out there. But the main point, look up, and you're seeing the signs and the wonders in the heavens to show the coming of the Son of Man. Because Yahushua is coming to save the planet Earth and the elect. Earth needs saving, man. It's not just for some selfish goals of sipping wine and chilling. That's why the Lord said, if the days do not be cut short for the elect's sake, there should be no flesh to be saved. If there's no flesh to be saved, that means the earth itself is in danger under this man, with his technology, with his high-level magic. But it's all set up that way anyway. Okay, the Lord's just coming to set things right. So there's no losing in this. It's already won. It says the investment or resource that increases in market value over time, which is faith, allowing the owner to sell it for more than it originally purchased price. This asset, such as real estate, stocks, rare collectibles, help build wealth, combat inflation, and provide potential capital gains. Safety. So we're going to be able to cash in on the faith that we laid up in the time of Jacob's trouble, in the time of the economical downfall. This should not be something we should fear, because we know that we've waited and we've stored up our treasures rightfully, man. Okay, so let's get these precepts. We'll close on out. It's the book of Luke 21 and verse 25. And it reads, let's read the Amplified version, one of my favorite ones. There will be signs attesting miracles in the sun. See that? And what's that word? Let's look it up. Let's look up what that word is. Attesting is the formal process of witnessing, certifying, or verifying a document authenticity or a signature validity or signature's validity. Okay, so it says attesting miracles in the sun, moon, and the stars. Slack, yeah, the call come in. And it says, let's read that again, amplified. This is Luke 21 and verse 25. There will be signs attesting miracles in the sun, the moon, and stars. See, comets flying by in the heavens. And on the earth, there will be distress and anguish among nations and perplexity. And you see that now. We're simultaneously in this prophecy right here. This is the fulfillment of this prophecy, which what you see taking place at a small scale will increase and get larger and larger. All right. And then we're going to see chariot sightings are going to increase. We're going to see all types of miracles taking place, spiritual power. This is everything's going to culminate. This is the grand finale of the kingdom to come, or the grand finale of this wicked kingdom, and then the starting of the new kingdom to come, which belongs to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And on the earth there will be distress and anguish among nations and perplexity at the roaring and the tossing of the seas and the waves. NLT. And there will be strange signs in the sun, and two comets coming simultaneously is a strange sign. That's something you don't see every day. That's something that's not a regular occurrence. So we know that is a sign and a wonder. Signs in the sun, the moon, and stars. And here on the earth, the nations will be in turmoil, perplexity by the roaring of the seas and the strange tides. And all we see now is more war, more conflict, more turmoil, more breaking down of partnerships and ties. All right, Obadiah tells us that the wound is laid under this man, and he don't see it. All right, he's witnessing it. He's getting mad at his allies. He's starting to chomp at the bits. It's the crabs in the bucket, man. Okay, and the crabs in the wicked bucket. All right, Matthew 24 and verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation in those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky and the powers of heaven will be shaken. And you see now, we see all these things that are culminating, the same things that Yahweh prophesied for us to watch for in the coming of the times that we living in. Mark 13 and 24 to 25. But in those days after the tribulation, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light. Stars will fall from the sky and the powers of heaven will be shaken. Joel 2 and verse 30 to 31. I will show wonders in heaven, I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and columns of smoke. And the sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord. And we're seeing that now. There's a sign in the heavens with double comets. We had a pink moon on the Pesach. Okay, for those that were able to do it, it's a blessing. Lord willing, like we say, this be the last one. The next one will be in the kingdom of heaven. Where we may, lift up our glasses and drink wine with the Lord, and man, and just be in peace. We're ready, man. That's all. That's all brothers really want is rest. That's why it says there remaineth the rest for Israel. We're worn out. We had to fulfill that prophecy where it says they shall wear out the saints. If we're not worn out, that prophecy can come to pass. So the Heavenly Father had to put hell on us by way of Esau, by way of the world we live in, this flesh. It had to weigh on us. That way we can fulfill that oppression that we would be feeling in the time of that deliverance. All right. I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and columns of smoke. Sun will be turned to darkness and the moon before the coming and great and awesome day of the Lord. All right. So we're in that time now. Okay. We're moving towards the goal. We're excited. We're ready to see what Yahweh Shah has planned for this place in the world to come. So I just wanted to bring this quick lesson out, quick news report. With that, I say call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chachurash. Until next time, I say shalom. And more on how to never keep faith. Shalom.